hundreds marched through Niger's Agadez on Sunday to demand the departure of US troops from a military base there. That shortly after a source familiar with the matter said an agreement had been reached between Niamey and Washington to start such a withdrawal. Military rulers in Niger, like juntas in neighbouring Burkina Faso and Mali, have been ending military deals with one-time allies like the US and France, and instead fostering closer ties with Russia.
We want Putin, we want Iran, we want China, but equal. We are not Russia's slaves, we are not China's slaves, we are not Iran's slaves. We are equal, with dignity, with respect.
Agadez is home to one of two military bases out of which the US military has been operating. Air Base 201 was built at a cost of more than $100 million. The drone base has, since 2018, been used to target militants in the Sahel region. There was, as of last year, a little over 1,000 US troops in Niger. But in March, Niger's ruling junta said it had revoked a military accord allowing US Department of Defense military personnel and civilian staff on its soil with immediate effect. The Pentagon had said it was seeking clarification and that the US government had held frank and direct conversations in Niger ahead of the announcement. On Friday, a source, who asked not to be identified, said there would be conversations in the coming days about how the drawdown of troops would look. The source said there would still be diplomatic and economic relationships between the US and Niger.
It could be mistaken for a concert, but under the midday Sahel sun, hundreds of Nigerian students have come out to affirm their country's new identity.
Today's Niger is a Niger where the Nigerian decide the country's future. The Niger of today is a Niger of the people. The Niger of today is not anymore a Niger led by a leader who is a minion of the West, who is cornered to making agreements that is then imposed on the people.
Francophone West Africa has seen a series of regime changes and radical shifts in policy recently. French troops were expelled from Niger last year, and now they're demanding US troops get out as well. The US has long seen Niger as a regional ally in its fight against terror groups in the region and operates a military base and a $100 million drone base in the sub-Saharan desert. But Niamey's pivot from its traditional Western allies is spearheaded by the country's governing military council. There's concern overseas of Russia's growing influence in Niger and West Africa. Moscow has already provided its new ally military equipment and trainers, while a West African alliance prepares itself to fight a wave of insecurity and terrorism from Daesh and Al-Qaeda-linked groups in the Sahel region.
We're here with the Students' Union to show support to the military regimes in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. We're showing our support for them to first kick out all foreign military that is not ours, that is remaining in our country. We would like to work exclusively with our own military.
Protesters tell us they don't hold any grudges against anyone, but they say that after years of being exploited, they feel like they finally have a voice in their country's affairs.
What we are doing for you. It is for you that we are fighting, because Niger needs you. But you need to be prepared. We want you to eventually take the country's hand after us. That's why we are following you step by step. Be united, because if you are not united, our efforts will not succeed.
Expressing national pride is part of Niger's new identity. Many say that here on out, whatever the country's successes are, will be of their own making, and that it began with expressing discontent with the way things were.